The Empower Project, the idea for it started 2 or 3 summers ago. One of my friends at the public library in Harlan had several contacts with Frisk, and through her friendship she realized that the Frisks were basically the main source for hygiene products for students in public schools. A lot of them relied on Frisks for pads and tampons. Many of the students were living in poverty, and so they may not have money to pay for those things. SNAP benefits don't cover pads, tampons, diapers, things like that. And those schools just couldn't keep up with the demand. So my friend started this Facebook message with 25 women in Harlan County about how we needed to come together and support young women. This was a necessity that we were all aware of, and if we could all just buy an extra package every month and donate it to someone, and then they could be distributed throughout schools. We took that idea and we were all really energized by it. So we just started speaking openly about those issues, and it made sense for us to pick up this project idea and run with it. So we started thinking about what the project should be called, and we really wanted this project to convey to the students that if they have their basic needs met, they can concentrate on anything else. They can concentrate on their schoolwork, they can concentrate on their sports, they can concentrate on their families, on whatever else they have to deal with. Their basic necessities should be met. So we settled on the idea of empower because we wanted those students to feel empowered to do whatever they wanted to do, whatever their goals were. I think a lot of times when you have groups that focus on women's issues, or especially hygiene issues, there are all these pretty flowers and powdery pinks and all these delicate images. And we wanted to kind of run with that, but kind of change it a little bit. So our logo has a chicory flower, which looks all sweet and delicate, but if you've ever tried to pull out chicory with your bare hand, it will tear your hand up. So that's kind of the image that we wanted to portray for this project. That yes, women look delicate and pretty, but we're strong as hell. I think, especially at the beginning, when we started talking about this project, we would talk to women about, oh, do you remember when you started your period? And almost every single woman would have some horror story about starting their period and not knowing what it was, not having the appropriate information. I can't tell you how many women said they thought they were dying when they started their period. Others talked about how embarrassed they were, not wanting to talk about it. And so I think it's kind of cathartic for women to have an opportunity to talk about what they went through in their younger years, and also just to own that this is natural, that it's not something that we should be embarrassed about, that it's something that we can talk about openly. I try to be open about talking about what we're doing and about collecting pads and tampons, so that when there are young students that I'm around, they realize that it's okay to talk about these things, that it's okay to feel safe talking about their bodies and natural processes that their bodies go through. Concept of birth control and pads and tampons or other hygiene products, it's kind of puzzling, and I try to separate that in empower because I don't want to get pushback from conservative, religious, or any other group. I do want this to be a project that all community members can support. But yeah, if you can't have access to pads or tampons, you're kind of out of luck for access to birth control. I think they go hand in hand. If you're not willing to talk openly about periods, how willing are you to talk about birth control, or safe sex, or sex education, or rape, or any of those other things? And these are issues all around us. We need to be open to them so that we can create safety for everyone in our community, especially young people in our community. When this project started, it was very driven by women leaders with the idea that we needed to support young women. Something that I've been going through personally is understanding how to use inclusive language, inclusive pronouns and things like that. And it's still something that I have to remind myself of and try to find a way to change my language when I'm talking about this project that is associated with a process that we think only women go through. So when I'm talking about the project, I try to refer to the people that receive our products as students. I do know that there are students in Harlan County that are trans, and so I want them to have access to these products as well. That shouldn't be a barrier to something that they need. The more that we can talk about these things openly, the more people will have access to hygiene products, to sex education, to all these other issues that are related. Feel free to talk about things that you're going through. It is empowering.